Bitcoin and Litecoin update. What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. I hope everybody's having a fabulous Friday. We're going to take a look at the charts. We're going to start out with Litecoin, move on to Bitcoin. Then we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin daily versus the gold weekly chart, where I believe we're still on our way, guys, to 46,000 by the end of the year. So definitely stick around to the end to check that out. Also, I want to remind you guys, definitely check out our Discord group. Click the description box below the video. Some links will pop up down there. There's a free Discord. Awesome community, guys. Definitely check it out. You won't regret it. Also, there's some affiliate links down there. There's some exchange links, Brave Browser, Ledger. Keep your crypto safe. Get it off the exchanges. Definitely check that stuff out. My newest link down there is Crypto Watch, which is owned by Kraken. You can put all your exchanges on one platform and trade from there. So definitely check it out. It's a free trial. And yeah, let's get on with the video. Alright guys, as always, want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it's still a speculative market, so don't put in more than you're willing to lose. And with that being said, if you're new here, you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen, as I do post new videos every day and keep you updated. So if you're subscribed, you'll get those videos. If you tick the notification bell, that'll get you notified every time I post a new video. So definitely do that. Guys, smash the likes, leave your comments, really helps the channel out. That's a way for you to support without doing anything except clicking a like button and leaving your comments. So definitely do it. So let's look at the charts. We're looking at Litecoin on the weekly, and we had been watching this for starting last week, this hidden bullish divergence where we're making higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the RSI. That's hidden bullish divergence. And again, guys, this is on the weekly, so I do believe we have much more upward momentum to go. We're going to look at the daily chart now. And let's check out our measured moves here and see. We'll start out with the bigger measured move first and why I'm looking at it. I've been looking at this as a cup and handle forming here, and we're forming the handle now, in my opinion. And the neckline of that, guys, is right here at the 146. The measured move of that is around the 271. I do believe that is our next big target. Not to say that's my end of the year target, because if Bitcoin does hit the 46,000, I believe Litecoin is going to be somewhere between $500 and $1,000 a piece. So, all right, now let's look at the RSI. Looking at the daily RSI, which we've been following. And this is rising channel here that we were following since way back in December. And we fell out of that into a falling channel. And our last move on the RSI we've been watching was this falling broadening wedge here, which we have broken out of. I do believe we are at the least going to come up and test the top of this channel again, which is going to be our next move up. Let's go into the 4 hour. And if we look at the 4 hour, we had this falling channel since back in April when we had our big move up, and we've been following the RSI in here. If you guys want to understand this more and you're new here, definitely go back and check my old videos. We've been following all the price actions since December, and I believe this is the only channel that's actually been hitting our targets all the way. So definitely check it out. As you can see, our last move was this falling broadening wedge here that we broke out of. And I had said to watch the top of this channel, and that's what we hit. And now I'm going to go in and show you. We're getting more hidden bullish divergence here, so I believe we're going to come up and get another touch up here. I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about. If we look right here, this is exaggerated bullish divergence. As you see, we're getting even lows right here in the price action, and we're getting lower lows in the RSI. That's exaggerated divergence, so I definitely see another push up. We do have this move, or measured move, to 103. We'll take a look at the measured moves in a minute. But I do want to point out something else. Now, I know a lot of people say oversold. Once we get into the oversold, then we're, going to go down. Obviously, you can see we hit up here in our RSI, hitting the top of this channel, and we're getting straight across movement like I just showed you, the divergence there. Now, if you look over here, when we hit, each time we hit, and then we got lower lows, we got lower highs here. We're getting higher highs here. So you can't go by just the RSI, but it will help you. If you look for divergence, you can tell kind of what direction we're headed. So like I said, check back my earlier videos and you can follow this all the way along through this year in both Litecoin and Bitcoin. I think you'll find it pretty interesting, especially if you want to know what all this stuff means. So, all right, we're going to start off taking a look at the bearish case scenario, guys. The bearish case is coming back down to touch this. Well, let's see. As you can see, I have the falling channel here. And I have this long-term blue trend line from right down in here. We had 3 touches down here, a 4th one here, actually a 4th and a 5th. There were a couple of wicks there, but worst case scenario right now is the 8,300 that we come back down and test this. And if that fails, $62 is my absolute lowest target here, guys. That's the absolute worst case scenario in my opinion. And that would be this long-term trend line from here. But again, guys, as always, I've been bullish in the long term, and I am sticking with it. I do believe we're probably at least coming up to this 103 next. And that was our measured move of this smaller falling channel right here. And if we took it to where we broke out of it, that gets us our 103 range. Now, the other way to look at that would be, and I don't think I have that in here, but I will put it in here, would be looking at this as a, last second, there we go. We'll be looking at this as a flagpole right here. And if we put that up to where it broke out, and actually, yeah, that gets us up to, so we're going to have another target in here. I don't want to make my chart too messy for you guys, but everything on here is important. So that's why I, sometimes the chart looks a little more messy, but as things get less important, I'll take them off. But while they're still important, so okay, that target's around the 120, 121 range. On my next target up here, if we break this 103, like I just showed you, that would be a bull flag here. That's our measured move to 121. The other measured move is the breakout of this falling channel. You measure the width of the channel, put it to the point where we broke out, and that gets us around that 128 range. So those are my targets for Litecoin, guys. I do believe we are headed to these higher targets. Watch this 103 area. If we get rejection here, then if it's heavy rejection, we could be looking at the 83 area, but I am more confident we'll break this and head up to these higher targets. So looking at Bitcoin on the weekly, same thing. We've been looking at this hidden bullish divergence, higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the RSI. So definitely way more upward movement expected. If we close tonight's candle above, well, actually the weekly, if we close the weekly above this 10.7 area, guys, that's extremely bullish. So definitely watch that for Sunday, which I believe will probably get up above that before then. Let's look at the daily. One more thing, I'm going to go through my quick rant, guys, just because I see so much of it and it makes me sick. These guys that are charging you for courses, they're teaching you the basic, guys. They're charging an arm and a leg. They're probably not even trading. They're just ripping people off. And the prices I see some of these guys charge for these basic courses that you can find free all over the internet, they are killing the crypto space. All the new people coming in and believing in these guys and buying their courses, losing all their money, plus giving half of it away to them. it's just killing the space, guys. They're scaring those guys away. Don't get sucked into that. Don't pay for the courses. If you want to learn to trade, there's plenty of free information on the internet, more than these guys are going to give you, and probably better information. All you're doing is paying for their drug habits, their gambling habits, and lavish lifestyles, guys. Don't get ripped off by that crap. That's it. That's enough with my rant. So looking at the daily, we'll look at the higher targets here first on the bigger picture. And as of right now, I have the 11.7 target here. We have more targets in there too. We'll look at in the 4 hour, but I do want to show you. I have this 16,000. Let me move that up a little bit to get it up there for you. Around the $6,000 range, and that is the measured move of this wedge, measuring the wedge. And if we were to break out around that 11.7 area, that gets us up to the $16,000 range. The other way to look at this is this being a bull flag, this being a flagpole, this being a bull flag. Measured move of the breakout around, if we broke out around 11.7, would be the $18,000 range. Excuse me. But remember, guys, this target changes depending on where we break out of this top trend line. So keep that in mind. I do want to point out also this trend change line here I have in the white. And this is right here. Zoom in. I've been watching this for a little over a week now, but I drew this in, and if you look at where we crossed, we can look at either this yellow one or this white one. They crossed around the same place, which was old resistance here after we, right before we broke down to the $3,000 range. So I do believe this trend line here is most likely going to hold. If it doesn't, then we have lower targets down here, and we'll take a look at that in the 4 hour here in a minute. But I just wanted to point that out. I do have one more measured move, which will change depending on where we break this top trend line here. But if we were to break it right around that $16,000 range, the target there, guys, is around $29,000. Like I said, my target for the end of the year is still $46,000 in my opinion. And we're going to take a look at that when we take a look at the Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart here in a minute. Now let's look at the RSI in the daily. Move this stuff up. All right, we've been watching this. We had this top trend line drawn in here, and that helped us call the tops of each one of these peaks here. I do want to point out, I had mentioned these are almost like fractals here, and let me draw that in on the RSI. You can see what's going on here. This was like a head and shoulders, one up, another head and shoulders, one up, another head and shoulders forming here. So I believe we're going to have something like this in the RSI. So definitely watch that and watching the price action. As you can see, this is our support line down here and our resistance line up top here. We were in a rising channel, fell out of the rising channel with a falling channel, broke back in, falling wedge, broke out of the falling wedge. I believe we're headed back up into this area in the RSI. Take a look at the 4 hour RSI. As you can see, the same thing. We chart these patterns in the RSI, which really helps us call our moves, guys. So definitely, if you haven't been watching the videos or you're new to the channel, go back, check it out, and you'll learn how we're doing this and how we're following along and how accurate it's been for us. Also, don't forget to smash likes, guys, and leave your comments. Whoops. Let's go into the 4 hour and look at our more immediate price action. All right, so look at where we're at now. We had this measured move in here for a while now. That's the measured move. You know what? Sorry about that. Let's take a look at the bearish case scenario, guys, because we have to be prepared for anything, right? Even though I'm bullish here, I don't believe the bearish case is going to play out. But if we were to break back down here, I'm looking for support. This was our target the other day, which we hit right here. I think I had it at 10,170. We hit just below it, came back down, tested our RSIs, I mean our EMAs for support, got support, and continued on up. If you remember, I had said if this 21 EMA crossed a 55 after this 8 and 13 did, we would have a nice move up, and that's exactly where we're at now. We're looking at this as a reversal diamond, and we had a measured move. That's where we got our measured move of this 10,175 range, which we hit, like I said, and got resistance, came back down. So looking at the 11,000, we could do the same. Hit this, get some resistance, build a bull flag or a pennant or something in this area, I believe, and then continue on up higher. But we'll have to take a look at that as it forms. So I do believe we're headed up to this $11,000 range, though, guys. But like I said, bearish case. If we were to come back down and retest this trend change trend line I have drawn here, that'd be around the 9250, 9260 area, and that's coming pretty almost straight down. That target would be around the 5th of August. So keep an eye out for that. If that breaks, then we're looking at worst case scenario, guys, would be this purple trend line here. We've had 2 touches. That would be our third if we got it, and that's that 8200 that people are thinking we got to fill the gap. I don't believe we got to fill the gap. I don't believe we're even gonna fill the gap, but that's just my opinion. But we do have to, keep that possibility in mind and keep an eye on the price. So, but anyways, back to up here. This measured move is the breakout of this channel right here. And we put it to where he broke out. That's what gets me the $11,000 range, guys. The next target is the 11.7, which would be the top of this falling wedge or bull flag, however you want to look at it, whatever you want to call it right now. As it forms, we'll get a better picture of it. But that would also be the top of this rising channel. And that's why I got the 11,700 up here. And then like I showed you in the beginning of the video, or the beginning of the Bitcoin chart, the measured move of the wedge breaking out around that area is around the 16,000 range. And if we looked at this as a bull flag, and that being a big bull pennant or bull flag, if we looked at this as the flagpole, I'm sorry, that'd be around the $18,000 range. So definitely pretty damn bullish here, guys. It's looking great. I know, like I said, you still got the bears calling for 7,000, even some calling for 2,000, whatever. I think they're absolutely insane, but I could be wrong. But I am making these videos telling you guys my opinion, and we have been doing pretty damn well this year. Now let's look at the Bitcoin daily chart. And as you can see, take a good look at it. I do believe in this pattern, and you can check back. We've been following this since January on this channel, which was right around here in the chart before we actually broke out of this wedge here. I had the dotted line drawn from the all-time high, and then the next peak, solid yellow line. This is the long-term trend line on the bottom. We had 2 touches before breaking through and up. Also, keep an eye on the blue line. That was old support before we broke down. Keep an eye on the yellow line, or the white line here, which was old support also off of these peaks. And as you can see, we broke through the blue one. Tested it for support, I guess you could call it. We had this crazy candle back in May where it went from like 84,000 all the way down to 6,000, somewhere in there. But that was the test of this blue line, I believe, and then we continued up, and now this white trend line that we're playing around now. I believe once we kick above it, and that's around the 10,900 range, so if we get a little resistance at the 11,000, we may travel sideways here, creating a bull flag, bull pennant, something in that nature, and then the breakthrough. Once we break above this white line again, I do not think we're coming back down below it. But anyways, yeah, keep an eye on this area. This is my target for the end of the year. It's around the $46,000 to $47,000 range. That is my target for the end of the year, and I will let you guys know if I change my mind on that. But as of right now, nothing has changed in my opinion. I'm going to click back over to the gold weekly chart. Keep an eye on the pattern. Keep an eye on the trend lines. and look at see if you can see what I see. I'm going to click back and forth. That's why my target is 46K by the end of the year, guys. It's absolutely amazing. Like I said, we've been following this since January. Seems to be playing out beautifully. And yeah, it's awesome chart, guys. I really believe we're going to see 46, 47,000 by the end of the year, in my opinion, not financial advice. So anyways, you can see same thing here. We had 2 touches on the bottom here before breaking out of this wedge or triangle, whatever you want to call it. And then we broke through the blue line, came down, tested it for support, and played around the white line for quite some time. This isn't exact, but it's still the pattern, guys. Still the pattern. I still believe we are on our way to all-time highs this year, by the end of this year. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. If you look at here in the volume, you can see right in here we had this dip down before a huge move up. If you look here, same thing, we're having the dip down now before a huge move up, I believe. Another thing I wanted to point out, while we're in this formation, you can see the volume is declining. When we really break out of this top line here, I think you're going to see a volume surge, huge, all kinds of FOMO. It's just going to be the beginning of this bull run. So like I've been saying all year, I think I've started saying it back in here, right in this area, that we're in a parabolic bull run, guys. I don't care what anybody says. This is still parabolic, very strong bull run. I do believe it's going to bring us up here. So, all right, now we're going to look at the other thing we've been watching since January is the RSI. And this is the weekly RSI here, guys, on Bitcoin on the daily. We have these 2 trend lines drawn in here, the exact same trend lines. This is 2013 bull run followed by the bear market. 2 touches of resistance on this trend line before breaking through and starting the bull market. This is 2017 bull market followed by the 18 bear market. 2 touches of resistance before breaking through and starting the bull market. I want to point this out also, guys. Take a good look at this area right here and what's going on. We had the hidden bullish divergence on the weekly, on the weekly. And if you look over here, we had the same thing back in 15. Looks just like it. This one's a little bit lower, but as you can see what I'm pointing out here, you know, we may have something like this. And it's not going to look the exact same, of course, guys, but we could have something like that, and this bull run, you know, could last to 2021. But we will see. 46K, like I said, is just my end of the year target, guys. I do believe we probably go much higher next year, probably in the 6 figures, but we'll have to wait and see. As of right now, I'm calling for the 46 to 47,000. Let's look at the monthly RSI. Same thing. I had these 2 arcs drawn in here. This is the 2013 bull market. Each arrow representing a new low in the RSI. We had 4 of them before starting the bull market. 2017 bull market followed by the bear market. Each arrow representing a new low in the RSI. We had 4 of them before starting the bull market. I believe this arc is going to be much more powerful. So that's what I'm seeing, guys. And if you enjoyed the content and you want to see these videos every day, definitely subscribe by clicking the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Tick notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash the likes, guys. Leave your comments and check out the affiliate links below. I think you'll like them. Take it easy, guys.